Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, you're going to do something very interesting. You're going to be going ahead and looking at one of the latest trends in AI, especially AI agent, which is the use of computer, basically computer use in AI agent. So I've done the research and I see this is actually very possible. We can do this thing in LangGraph. So we can do you have computer use capabilities within our graph LangGraph agent. So if you don't know what computer uses, that's also fine. So you probably heard of this new AI that came out recently called Manus, right? So it had the ability to open the browser in the chat interface and do all that cool stuff, right? That's all computer use. So this thing came up about almost at like mid of last year, and it has been going on for a while. And right now, it's now more available than it was previously. So in this video, I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to go ahead and teach how we can go ahead and implement computer use within our LangGraph agents. Okay, so we're going to be using LangGraph. We're going to also be using a tool called Scrappy Barra. So Scrappy is just a web application that provides us the ability to use computer use capabilities within our different programs. So it's very easy to do. You can install the Scrappy API and you have some free tokens to experiment with and use, right? So yeah, so let's jump into it and let's see what we can do. Okay, so the first thing we need to go ahead and do is basically, so if you've been following along with the course, this is what you've been doing so far, right? You have learned how to build simple agents, you have learned how to work with chains, routing, agents with memory. We did long-term memory and short-term memory. We have done handling states and all that, right? All that cool stuff and filtering states and doing all that kind of stuff, right? So right now we are going ahead and we are moving on to the human in the loop kind of interface. That's what we're going ahead and trying to implement. But before that, I'm going to go ahead and inject different components, such as this video specifically talking about computer using agents. So this was originally not planned as part of the course, but as the trends go on, as more advances come up in AI agents, so we're going to be incorporating all those into the course so that by the time you finish, you guys have a bigger understanding or a more general understanding of what AI agents are more capable of, right? So yeah, so let's get started with the computer use for agents, AI agent within LangGraph. So the first thing we need to go ahead and do, I actually went ahead. If you've been following along with the series, I had an environment created, right? So this environment that's what I've been using throughout the whole series, but I created a new environment, a mini conda environment, because when I'm trying to install LangGraph Kua, which is LangGraph Computer Use Agents, I'm getting this error. So I think there's a version incompatibility. So I've been using pip so for a while. So now I have not used something like poetry. Maybe poetry could have handled it properly. But anyways, I got that error. So I just created a new environment. In this case, it's a mini conda environment. So if you're using your application and getting this kind of errors, just simply create a new environment. If you're trying to install LangGraph Kua package, just if you're getting any error, just try to create a new Python environment and then go off with that, like the way I've done in this video, right? So I've done that. So just go ahead and do pip install graph langgraph hyphen Kua, which is CUA, which stands for computer use agent. And then also we're going to install python.env to help us read environment variables. So I went ahead and first bring in a couple of imports. So we're going to be using this loading of environment variables, and also we're going to use the OS module. So I just did this to ignore any warnings and then loaded in my environment variables. Okay, so talking about environment variables, you need to go ahead and go to scrappybarra.com and then create an account over there. So once you create an account, you're going to go ahead and get this API key. So copy this API key, go inside of your virtual environment, right? And then create an environment variable, which is scrappybarra API underscore key, and then paste in your key in there. Okay, so make sure that you have this naming convention. Again, I also have the article for this video. So for those of us who like reading, enjoy reading more than watching videos, you can also check out the article on Medium. Okay, so you can just search for me on Medium at Prince Cramper, and you'll be able to find me on Medium as well. So I also write articles about almost all the videos that I post. So you can find that article right there. So once we have that, you have that configured in your environment variable. I've already configured within my environment variable, so I'm not going to go ahead and open up my environment variable because I don't want to reveal that key, right? So once we have that done, now we can go ahead and begin to actually write up some code to try to use the core capabilities of LangGraph. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead in here. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. The first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is to create the core uh, instance, right? Instance. Okay, so we're going to do that. You're going to say core underscore graph is going to be equals to create underscore core, just like that. And this is, remember, okay, this needs to be by Mac, sorry, Python file. So this is my markdown, my bad. So change that to be a Python cell and then run that. So once we have that imported, I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and run this again. Okay, now I have another Python cell there. So once we run this, we have created an instance of the LangGraph use agent, right? So LangGraph computer use agent. So this is just a LangGraph Python, sorry, an agent just like any other LangGraph agent. And we can actually verify this. So I'm just gonna bring in this imports right here, and just a couple of imports just to help us to visualize exactly what you're trying to do right here. So I'm going to bring in this code, and this code is going to help us to visualize exactly this agent that we have. So if I run this, you're going to go ahead and see the graph of this agent. So if you've been following along with the series, you know how we build our graphs, our own agent from scratch, right? So we're able to see some kind of diagrams just like this one, right? So this is the same thing that this Kua or computer use agent has. It's just an agent like any other agent. So you can have this be a sub graph within your bigger multi-agent system, right? Okay, so once we have that out of the way, now I'm going to go ahead and bring in a couple of promptings. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and copy this because it's gonna be a lot of prompting, and I don't want to waste your time having to watch me. So if you want the code is available on GitHub. The link is gonna be in the description of this video, or you can also find this code on the article as well. I'm getting the code from. So this is just a prompt telling it's an AI researcher with the ability to search things on the web. So we're going to basically give the agent ability to go on the web, but now instead of using something like Tavily or something like Tavily or GPT researcher, now you're going to be seeing something in real time. You can see the agent going on the browser, and the browser is going to open up, and you can see exactly what this agent is doing within this browser. So, right, so it's going to be real time. So once we have this done, I'm just going to go ahead and create a function that you're going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and simply create a synchronous function right here. So I'm going to say async. I'm going to call this function main. Okay, so you can call it anything you want to do. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to say uh, result underscore stream is going to be equals to the following. So we're going to say core a graph agent dot asynchronous stream. We're going to be using the astream method. So astream, just like that, astream. And then in here, we're going to go ahead and pass in a dictionary. And this dictionary is going to have messages. And you're going to go ahead and pass in our messages as the message that we have above here, which is just this, right? So once we have this there, I'm going to go ahead and pass in the stream underscore mode, and the stream mode is going to be of type update. And we talk about how these different streams work, right? So if you forget about how all this work, it's fine. Just go back in go back in the intro of the series, and you can find details on all this. Okay. So once we have this, I'm going to go ahead and simply say asynchronous. We are going to have an asynchronous for loop. So for a chunk in a result stream, you're going to get each chunk, and you're going to check if create underscore VM underscore instance in chunk. So this is basically what this basically means, is that it's going to be creating a VM instance. And you can remember this part right here. So you're just checking for this node, and we have talked about how all these streaming technologies how these streaming methods work within LangGraph, right? So we're checking if we are arriving at this create VM node. If that's the case, then basically means that you're calling the Scrappy API, a Scrappybara API, and it's going to go ahead and create that instance. So what I'm going to go ahead and simply do is this print and say VM instance created successfully. That's it. So once I have this, I'm going to go ahead and simply say, I'm going to say the URL. So VM underscore URL is going to be equals to the following. So the VM URL is going to be equals to chunk dot get, and you're going to go ahead and simply get create underscore VM underscore instance instance. Make sure you get the spelling right. So create VM instance, and it's going to be passing a Python dictionary in case nothing is being returned. If something was returned, we're going to go ahead and simply get the stream hyphen underscore URL. My bad. And then yeah. So if nothing is so if you get the stream VM instance object, then you're going to return it, and then from it you're going to go ahead and get it's basically a dictionary. You're going to go ahead and get the stream URL from this dictionary. If it's an empty, if this we couldn't find this, you're returning an empty dictionary, and since this dictionary is empty and we're going to get the URL from an empty dictionary, that's going to return to us a none, right? So we're going to say print, you're going to say let's let me just use an f string, right? You're going to say stream URL, and it's going to be equals to, and I'm going to go ahead and pass in the viewer, okay, sorry, the VM underscore URL right here. Okay, so once I have this done, I'm going to go ahead and just simply say we can print here, print done. Okay, so I'm going to say done. Okay, so once we have this done right here, okay, so we're going to run this cell. Now we need to go ahead and simply invoke this cell. So I'm going to say await, and I'm going to simply say main and just run that. So it's going to go ahead and run. Make sure that you have your API keys in place, and also you need, okay, one thing I forgot to mention, you also need to have an open AI API key for this to work. So again, instead of your VM, instead of your sorry dot env file, make sure that you will specify open AI API key right here. Okay, so this is open API key. So make sure that you have that running. Okay, so if you just added your open API key, make sure that you execute this cell again to reload any all the environment variables again. Okay, because if you add a new one and you don't execute this cell again, then this session wouldn't be aware of that environment variable. So just re-execute that cell just to bring in that environment variable. So we just have to wait, and once this is done, it's going to go ahead and create for us a VM instance. And once a VM instance has been created, it's going to go ahead and simply return to us the URL that you can see, basically a stream of what the agent is doing in real time. Okay, so just have to be patient, and let's give this a bit of time. Okay, I think I made an issue right here. So let me just exit out of this. This actually needs to be updates and not updates. So this needs to be updates, and then this needs to be create VM instance, and then in chunk, and then okay, and then you're getting the URL from here, and then yeah, that's more or less it. So let's run this and make sure that this time around I don't have any typos in my code. So we have messages right here. I say message instead of messages, so that's corrected this time around. And this stream mode is updates. Okay, so once this is done, now you can see we have the API key right here. Sorry, the stream URL. So I'm gonna go ahead and simply copy this. Let me just highlight this one more time. So copy this, and I'm going to go back in my browser, create a new browser window, and I'm going to have that pasted in there and run this. So once I have it running, I'm going to go ahead and simply start begin to see the URL of basically what the agent is doing in real time. So my prompt or question that I asked the LLM, the computer use agent, it was to carry out a research on Cold Pally, right? So Cold Pally is just a computer, it's just a kind of like a VLM service, but it has some advances in it. So you can check out Cold Pally. It's really a cool paper. You can read the Cold Pally paper as well. So I asked you to do a research on Cold Pally for me, and you can see it's going ahead and doing the research in real time. So you can see it went ahead and retrieved the Cold Pally paper from archive, and you can see it's going through the paper, retrieving, trying to get information. So you can see all this thing in real time. What exactly this AI agent is doing, right? So right now, I'm not literally, you can see my mouse is just here, right? I'm not touching anything. And you can see the agent is using the computer, which in this case is just a VM that Scrappy Barra provides for us. So you can see this agent is using this VM, going on the browser, searching for the Cold Pally paper, and then doing the research all on its own. So this is more like the Manu AI that came from China recently. Really good AI tool, really good AI. Yeah, so you can actually build something like that yourself using computer capabilities. So you can see I'm not really touching anything. It's just the agent is operating this all on its own, right? So yeah, that's computer use for you for AI agents, and it's actually very easy to get started with using using LangGraph. So That's something that you have already done. You're actually building these agents and these kind of things. We have already gone over this. So if you're following this series from the beginning, you probably understand every bit of this, right? You have done this already. So it's just, you can make this as a subgraph of your multi-agent system, whereby you have computers computer use capability within the multi-agent use system. And I think that's be something really interesting we should take a look into, right? So you can also interact with this yourself. Okay, so by using your mouse, you can hover and you can interact with it. But I just let the AI do the agents do his thing, because that's basically what you're here for, right? Yeah, and yeah, so you get some good amount of time to play around with this. You get about 10 hours of use, okay, for free initially. So yeah, so it's really good to get started with, and you can also check out other things as well. So they have a starter kit and they have a lot of things that you can play around with. So yeah, that's basically it. And if you want, you can just go ahead and stop the agent right here. So stop, and then you can also go ahead and simply stop this as well. So I have two agents there because the first time we made an error. That's why we have two instances running right here. So I just went ahead and stopped those two instances. When I refresh the page, you see I have nothing else being displayed here. So that's basically how computer use AI in AI agents can be very straightforward and easy to use, right? So yeah, that's basically it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found really value in this. Let me know if you have any project suggestions, any ideas that you wish for us to implement on using computer use agents in LangGraph. I'll be happy to do that a video on that. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you enjoy reading articles, you can find the article for this video on Medium. Okay, so you can follow me on Medium at Prince Cramper. You can follow me on YouTube, hopefully where you're watching this video, at Code with Prince. You can also follow me on X, right, on Twitter, okay, at Prince underscore Cramper. So I don't post much important things on Twitter. I just post the links to these YouTube videos, articles, and also once in a while I post memes and just have a good time. So if you want to have a good time, follow me on X. I'm much faster to respond to you on X or on Medium. And on Medium, you can find me at Prince Cramper. So if you have any projects, any suggestions, you want us to collaborate on anything, any future video recommendations, or any feedback on how I can improve the content, you can always get back to me on X or on Twitter. Right? Sorry. Basically, okay, X is the same as Twitter. So you can get back to me on X or on LinkedIn, right? So Prince underscore Cramper on X, Prince Cramper on LinkedIn. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you in the next video. So I hope you have found something, you have found value out of this. Okay, so I did a silly error, right? So I didn't remove the Liza logo from the last video. It was sponsored by Liza. So I made an error and I didn't remove the logo. So I'm just gonna leave it in there. We all make mistakes, right? We all make mistakes, or mistakes once in a while. So anyway, that's just part of being a human anyway. So yeah, that's basically it. And also one more cool feature that you can experiment with. Let me close this. Go back to in here. You can actually, once you spin up an agent right here, you can actually chat with these agents in here. So let me just try to run this one more time and try to show you what I'm trying to mention. So I'm going to run the code again, and that's going to go ahead and create for me a new instance on Scrappy Barra. And once this instance is created, right, we should be able to see it, right? So I'm going to refresh this. I can see it right here. So once I have it, I can see it right here. I can click on this, and then I can go ahead and simply go into the playground. So here's a playground. I can go ahead and do different things. Do different things in there. Yeah, so that's it. You can actually, there was a place I remember you could actually chat with this. Let me see how I did this last time. Let me see stream. Okay, it's not stream. Uh, not stream. I just clicked here. Go to playground. Yeah, awesome. So here you can just go ahead and begin to use the agent right here. So you can ask it questions, right? So they say do a research on latest Tesla models, and then run that, and you can see it's going to go in here and begin to use the computer to carry out a research on latest Tesla models and stuff like that. So basically you can see it goes in there. Let me just close this other stream so you can see this other stream. So I'm going to close them, go back in here. Let's see what the agent is doing. So it goes in and let's see. Okay, so he's still doing the research on call pali from code, right? So yeah, basically, but basically you get the point. You can come in here, create an instance, spin off an instance, come in here, and you can interact with this instance off of here. Okay, yeah, so you can do that from the playground. Yeah, so once I have this, I'm gonna go ahead and simply stop this instance right here. Yeah, so that's basically all I wanted to talk about in this video. So guys, thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video. Keep safe